gaff tape. What's the best tape in the world? Why do we love gaff tape?
It does everything. It can't
Not everything, but it's pretty amazing.
hard enough.
The great thing about gaff tape is it's basically fabric with a high-tack, low-residue adhesive on it. And what that means is that it will stick to a lot of things, and when I pull it off, it doesn't stay there. What happens if I put the gaff tape on something and I leave it there for a year? Then it gets
real
gross. It does
sticky.
it will leave the residue there.
It is meant to be a temporary
It
thing.
is meant to be a temporary solution.
Normally just scrape off the residue.
It's gross
Depends
though.
on how long it's been.
Yeah,
It depends
that's
on what
fair.
the other thing about it too, oftentimes it depends on the cord. It depends on the chemical composition of the insulation on the outside of the cord. But if you take some cords, if you put the gaff tape on a cord and then you leave it there, this adhesive will turn into this impossible goo that is really hard to get off. It takes a really incredible solvent to get that glue off of there. So it's a really great tape. It comes in a variety of colors. I have two colors. It's also the same tape that we use for spike tape. Look, exactly the same tape, just a different width of the roll. When they make this stuff, they actually, the machine that makes it is a 60-inch wide machine. So the gaff tape is 60 inches wide when it comes off the machine. It goes into a converter, and the converter is a whole series of these little cardboard cords, and it's rolling it off of the big roll onto these smaller rolls. It's cutting it and then rolling it onto these smaller rolls, and you can put whatever size roll. The typical sizes are 1/2 inch and 2 inch, but I've seen 12-inch wide gaff tape. We have a roll of 3-inch wide gaff tape over in the shop, and we have some 1-inch wide stuff. So 1 inch and 3 inch are the second most common sizes. 1/2 inch and 2 inch are the most common. This is just standard stuff. But the other stuff does exist. And it comes in a wide variety of colors. Why does duct tape suck? I'm going to show you right here. Here's why duct tape sucks. Oh no, this isn't doing it. Oh, it's the purple roll. I don't have the purple roll. I don't know where the purple roll is. I had a roll of, one time I brought a roll of purple duct tape that I found on the shelf. I brought it over here to show it off, and I pulled it, and the adhesive was literally powdered. It just fell apart. So the difference between gaff tape and duct tape is this has a plastic coating. It has a weave, a fiber weave in there, which is it's not fabric. It's like a gauze, and then it has this adhesive on the back of it. So similar construction, but vastly different. The difference in cost here is significant. This is a what, $15 roll now or more?
I don't remember. Not cheap.
I haven't bought any recently, but this is probably close to $20 for a roll of this stuff. This you can buy for $6 or $8. So vastly different cost. The adhesive is similarly sticky, but much higher residue. So it will leave crap behind. And it's, I don't know, I think it's easier to tear. I think it's weaker, but not. Some people love. I was a fan of duct tape until I found out that gaff tape existed, and then I was like, ooh, that crap, I wouldn't use that stuff if you paid me. I don't use it. I use it rarely, but it does exist. There is another, if you go, you can't buy gaff tape on the open market. If you walk into your big box store, they're not going to sell gaff tape. The Ace Hardware in town used to sell gaff tape. They used to carry it, you walk in there, there would be a couple rolls of it. I don't know if they still do it or not, because there was enough demand for, the frat boys and other things happening in town that, a band would come to play at the place and they would be out of gaff tape. Ace always had one on the shelf. I don't know if they still do that. They changed owners since I remember that. But anyway, Gorilla tape. Gorilla Glue. Gorilla is a company based out of Cincinnati that sells a lot of different products. They do have a product called Gorilla Tape, and it is similar to it's kind of a cross between these two things, but it's probably the closest thing that you're going to find to gaff tape that you can buy just off the shelf, but not gaff tape. Glow tape. Look, I brought the glow tape. I don't think you can see it below. Where's glow tape? But there's glow tape. How many people have had glow-in-the-dark stuff in their lives? It's that stuff on tape. That's all it is. Why do we use it? So you can see where you're going in the dark. It's markers in the dark, so you can see how much it is. Does it work by magic, or what happens if you leave it in the corner of a dark theater all day and all night and then expect it to glow? It does not. It requires photons. It must be loaded with photons for it to work. White tape, we talked about it. Simply skin gaff tape. Look, E-tape. What's the number one thing you should never do with E-tape? Assume it's spike tape. It is not spike tape. Very different product. It's designed for taping up wires. It is never to be put on a dance floor. Don't ever put electrical tape, because it comes in bright colors, so we can use it for spike tape on the dance floor. No, bad. The adhesive on the electrical tape reacts with the rubber of the dance floor, and it makes the same gooey mess that some gaff tape makes on some extension cord. It's PVC plastic with an adhesive on it. It's used for wrapping up electrical wires. It's stretchy, so it's really good. You can like pull it tight to get some tension in whatever it is you're trying to tape together. But it is really designed for holding wires together. The other thing about it is that, I don't know if you can see what's happening here. If I put my finger on this one, this is an old roll. It's been in this bucket of stuff probably for close to 10 years now. The adhesive is all, I don't know if you can see it coming off of my finger. It's leaving residue behind because it's old. It has a shelf life. You want a new fresh roll. Look, here's a new fresh roll. Let's see what the difference is. Oh my. This is a really cheap roll too. Yeah, it's not nearly as, it's not leaving residue like the other stuff is. If you buy good E-tape, it comes in a little, this is 3M brand, I think. Oh, this is Scotch. It comes in a little case. Why does it come in a little case? To keep it dry, to keep it from drying out, because it does dry out. But it also has a shelf life. If I grab a roll of 10-year-old E-tape, it's going to be all sticky and gooey, and it's not going to stick very well. It's going to kind of be slimy and slide around and stuff like that. So you don't buy it when you need it. Don't assume that the tape you have in the drawer is going to still be good 10 years later. Same way with the next one.
E-tape really only wants to stick to itself.
Yeah.
It is not a tape that will adhere to anything other than itself and wire.
Yeah. Kind of sort of sticks to the thing, but mostly just
it has
itself way better than everything else.
Yeah, it has a very particular use.
Yep.
It is not a good tape for anything else.
Masking tape. What's Curtis's most hated tape in the history of the tape? Why does Curtis hate masking tape? I'll show you. Here's a roll of old masking tape. Look, there's some. Get started again. Okay, we're gonna pull some off here. It's actually just coming off now. That's why I hate masking tape, is because it does that kind of crap. And this is an old roll, you can tell. Masking tape also has a shelf life. Buy it when you need it. Don't expect it to be good whenever you go back 5 years later, because it'll be crap. This one here has, I can feel it, it's all sticky too. It's the same as, painter's tape is very similar. What's the next one, painter's tape? Oh, painter's tape is a version of masking tape. It's a paper tape with an adhesive on it. The number one reason I hate masking tape is people think it's a label tape, and it's not a label tape. Because if you put it on something, you put it on this label and you write your label on it, it'll either fall off or it'll be there for the next 3,000 years because it will dry out and be the most crusty, hard crap. If you look at one of those cabinets, I don't know, one of those cabinets has a piece of tape on it, but it's not a piece of tape anymore. I pulled it off the other day and it's still rusty, crusty.
It's right here.
Yeah, it's still crusty.
And it's gross.
Yeah, masking tape. Painter's tape is very similar. It's a paper tape. You can buy it in a variety of choices. It's really great tape. It has an adhesive similar to gaff tape on it, but it's a paper tape. It is not a permanent tape. Also do not use it as a label tape because it will, and the temporary labels are great. But for long-term labels, do not use painter's tape because it will get crusty and hard and stuff like that. It also has a shelf life. I was at the store one time and they had some painter's tape in the clearance bin, and I was like, oh, cool. I grabbed up these couple rolls, took them home, put them in the toolbox. 3 years later, I go out to get the stuff out of there, and it did this. It just came off in pieces. I couldn't actually get it off of the roll because the adhesive had dried out. So again, buy this when you need it. Don't expect it to be good whenever you go back to it years later.